For instance, would you describe to me what such a man would say to you and what his behavior would be?
They always let their inhibition out. Right. To go on saying
Thank you, Super Chat Charlie, for your service. You're a good guy. All right, you go over there. Maybe you go over here. You go over here, and then let me start doing this stuff here. Let me start trying to figure out what is going on over here. Now, let me do this. Boom, got that done. All right. Jeffrey Hahn is number one tonight. Number one. Meme Lore, number two. Not bad. Peter Graves, number three. While driving, that says something. Sophia, first moderator in there. Fourth human with a hey, everybody. Keith Adams with a hey, all. Anne is here. Only in the chat this time. Possibly on screen, but not in my house. Abnorm is here. Hello. Yeah, so if you were here last Thursday, things got a little out of control, but it was funny. It was a hoot to watch after, I've been told. And Sophia with the funny face. Hey, Sophia, did you get I finally replied to your postcard, your beautiful postcard that you wrote me, Sophia. You have such great, very tiny handwriting. Anyway, I responded to your postcard finally via Facebook message at some point last few days. Sophia, you got your Tizzy tape. Awesome. You know, the 100 tapes sold out really quickly. And I'm getting ready to buy a Tizzy shirt because I went over to this place that Tizzy, the girls in Tizzy run. I think the bass player, Sarah, owns the place. It's called Per Cup Cafe, Purr Cup Cafe. It's here in Raleigh, and it's basically a cat coffee shop where you can get some nice coffees and things and little snacky things. And you can also go into a room that has a bunch of cats in it and pet the cats. It's amazing. So yeah, Tizzy, I went over there to say hi. I bought another Tizzy tape, a second one for myself, because I think I'm going to give it away during some kind of contest or something. But anyway, I asked them about T-shirts, and Sarah of Tizzy said they do have T-shirts that have been sitting in their rehearsal space for a year because they had them printed for shows they were going to play, and they never played the shows. So anyway, I said I would buy one. Another friend of mine here in town, Andy, said he wanted to buy one. So I'm going to go over there probably next week if I hear from them that they actually got the shirts out of storage, and I'll go over there and buy one. Okay, great. Sophia, you saw it. Great. Yeah, the Cat Coffee Shop, Per Cup Cafe. So Tizzy is a hardcore, I guess you'd call it a hardcore punk band. I think it's an all-girl band at this time, and they did their first show in 2019. I saw them. I recorded a song on video. I fell in love with them, and they just released their first demo tape, Limited Edition 100. So we've been playing that on the channel for last few days on some videos I've done and some live streams. And so love Tizzy. Yeah. So Sophia, you're the only moderator here for right now, because my friend Tim is going to be a little late. So you are king moderator today, Sophia, for at least the time being. So thank you for your service, Miss Wrench Holder. Yeah, I know. Cat record stores are also a thing. Well, they used to be a thing when record stores were a thing. But I've been to some great cat record stores in Europe where the cats are just kind of, walking on the records, laying on the records, sleeping around the records, and I just love that. Cheap Trick, Chick Eastwater, Cheap Trick, Chick Eastwater, and Cheap Trick. Those two names kind of go together in a weird way. I think Chick Eastwater should open for Cheap Trick. I don't know if you sing or dance, Chick, but learn something quick. You're going to start opening for Cheap Trick. Learn something quick. You're going to open for Cheap Trick. I love Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick was the second band I ever loved in my life. First one was Kiss. Second one was Cheap Trick. I've told this story before, but Cheap Trick only fell into my graces and my heart when they recorded their song Surrender, and they mentioned Kiss records in the song. And I think still to this day, they throw Kiss records into the audience when they sing that lyric. But yeah, that made me go investigate Cheap Trick. I was like, wait, another band is singing about Kiss records? I got to check this out. So then I fell in love with Cheap Trick for sure. Yeah, you're an authority now, Sophia. You have the ball in your hands, and you are going to, if Dennis shows up, you got to let him say yo. You got to let him say yo as much as he wants. Dr. October is here. Oh, this is my new favorite Vinyl Community VC channel, Dr. October. He just popped up in the chat. I think he's from Finland, and he does some great videos. He drinks beer, and his edits on his videos are really hilarious. And I just want to hang out with that guy and have a few beers with him. So Dr. October, I just joined a contest that he is sponsoring, a soundtrack contest to show 3 soundtracks from your collection, which I did. And yeah, Dr. October, I would go over there and check him out if I was you. Totally great videos and great record collection, great taste in music as far as I'm concerned. And he has a nice little vest with pinback buttons and patches and that kind of shit. I love that stuff. So totally into Dr. October. Welcome, my friend. It must be very late over there. Oh, come on, Dr. October. Your channel rules. And you need more subscribers. I think he's at like 600 and something, maybe 700 subscribers at this point. So he's working his way up there. And I love that channel. One of my favorites. So thanks for being here, Dr. October. I do hope you join my 3,000 subscribers contest. Everybody, if you don't know already, I am hosting a contest on YouTube in the Vinyl Community. I'm going to put the link up here for you all now in case you would like to join the contest. I really wish you would. The deadline is not until March 24th or the morning of March 25th. I will be announcing the winner on the evening of March 25th. Dr. October. Yeah, I know. It's late there. Okay, so here is my contest, everybody. Let me just put this in the contest. There's my contest, everybody. It's going to go in the chat right now. So anybody who has any kind of music collection at all, or just wants to talk about music, join my contest, please. Now, Dr. October. Oh, great. Thank you, Dr. October. Are you heading off right now, Dr. October? Are you splitting right now at this second? Because what I was going to do was, if you just have a minute that you can be on camera, I just want to bring you on screen real quick so that I can introduce everybody to you, and then you can go to bed if that's okay with you. And I can put the video link in the chat if you are interested in joining me for just a second. Just a second. Not immediately. Oh, okay. Well, if you're going to be around for a few minutes, here's the link in the chat. You can come up here and just say hi, and I just can point to you and go, hey, this is Dr. October. He's cool. He's probably got a beer in his hand. And please go sub him up. But yeah, if you can't come here tonight, Doctor, you go do your thing. Go get some sleep, and we'll check you next time. But I do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. my time. Every now and then I do other live streams where I'm walking to the record store or doing other things in the daytime, but this is kind of my weekly nighttime stream. But yeah, thanks for being here, Doctor. I appreciate it. Chick Eastwater. It was Cheap Trick, Alice Cooper, Velvet Revolver, James Brown, lots of other bands. Wow. What year was that, Chick? I gotta scroll up. In New York City, Robin Zender found my Sears camera I left in a bathroom. And wow. Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great, Chick. I got to hear more Cheap Trick stories from you someday. Yeah, when I met Cheap Trick a couple of times, they've always been really such nice guys and Devo fans, of course. So yeah, big into them. Now, the music that was playing before. Now, let me ask you guys this. I have my microphone on a different setting tonight. Is it sounding okay? My voice, the intro music that we played? Let me know in the chat. Type of 666 if it sounded good, if we're looking good, because I do have this microphone on a different setting. And I'll tell you what I've changed on that in a second. Okay, so we got two people that have said it's all good. It's sounding good. Okay, so the music, if you heard the music before, okay, great. So instead of having the microphone set to be directional, to go straight to my face, I have it set to pick up the whole room. And I think that's going to sound better because I think when I have this set to directional and I try to play music, it kind of cuts out and it does weird. Oh my goodness. Wait, Slash went up to play with James Brown and introduced him as Splash. I love that. I love thinking of Slash as Splash. I've heard Slash is a very nice guy too. I haven't met him though. Okay. So it sounds great. Excellent. So the song that you were hearing, and I always have to point this out just because people are curious. This is the CD I was playing as an intro to this stream, and I play this quite often. This is a band that I was in early 1990s called Silica Gel. The song that we heard, if you could see it there, is Sex with a Woman, track number 3. And this is just like a sample fodder, kind of noise, experimental industrial kind of stuff from 1993, and it was released on our Wiffle Fist label, our homegrown record label, but it was distributed by, if you can see there in the UPC code, it says Sealand Records. Sealand is Negative Land's record label. Negative Land's another experimental kind of found sound noise collective, and they were nice enough to help us distribute this back in the day. This album is called 50 Noisy Children Party. It was reissued on vinyl, double vinyl in 2016 with bonus tracks. And that was like a dream come true for me. I never expected it to be, reissued. It's like a fairly unknown band. Oh, Dr. October is here. Holy shit. Here we go. All right. Here we go. I want to introduce you to this guy, Dr. October of the vinyl community. All right. Hold on now. Let me get this straight. Look at this. All right. So do you hear me?
Yeah, I do. Do you hear me?
Great. I hear you perfectly. Dr. October, my friend. I tell you, when I found your channel, and I saw the way you edit yourself, and it's just great. And you put the sound effects in there, and you have your beer, and the cat is walking around. I just dig it so much. You're one of those people that, I meet you online, but I know that if we hung out, we would be getting along really great and having a great time. So
thanks, Michael. The feeling is mutual, really. I mean, like, there are those channels that you just know right away that you would hit it on, if you would ever were to meet. But I mean, I have cats. We have cats. We have 4 cats here. So, they're cat hair. And I thought that's why it would be awesome to take part in your contest, and I will. So
good. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's my first contest I've ever hosted, so I'm trying to get as many people into it as possible, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I got to ask you something about Finland, because I have one Finnish band. One band from Finland is my favorite from all of Finland that I know of, and it's Impaled Nazarene. Impaled Nazarene. I'm a huge fan of Impaled Nazarene, and I got to tell you something. I know you're a Thor fan as well, right?
A fan is maybe too strong word, but
you appreciate Thor. Well, I'll tell you what.
I do, of course. Yeah.
If you met him, you would be a fan. Let me tell you, a long time ago, I think this was like in 2004 or 2005, Thor was invited to go play a big rock festival in Europe, and he was not able to bring a band. They were just going to fly him over. So he had to find a band over there to back him up. And Impaled Nazarene was going to do it. They were going to be Thor's backing band. Wow. And then something happened where there was like a volcano that erupted or something happened, and the smoke came over and the flights were canceled. So Thor could not go. Impaled Nazarene never played with him, and I was crushed.
Man. Yeah. I think I know that might have been 2007 or 2008, because I remember I was myself stuck in Hungary, because I was already then living here in Hungary, and I couldn't fly because of the damn smoke.
Yeah, it sucks. But when concerts start again, my friend, we're going to meet somewhere at a concert somewhere in this world.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So I know you got to go to bed. I just wanted to say hi to you finally in person, and thank you in advance for doing my contest. I appreciate that.
No worries. Hey, thanks for the great idea, and thanks for all your kind words. Really, I'm also a very new face here in VC. I've only started like 7 weeks ago making videos. So
wow, you have a lot of subscribers so far.
No. I mean, I've had my channel more than 10 years, but I was only just uploading, my rips of my vinyl records, etc. But in time, the subscribers accumulated. I don't know. I'm actually waiting that they will drop eventually, because all those old subscribers will realize that what the hell is this guy doing these days? I don't want none of that. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I want the people, the interactions, the views. All that matters.
Well, I have a similar story. I started my channel back in 2009, and I only started it so that I could take the footage that I was shooting on my digital camera and put it somewhere so that I could then share the link all over the place where, I was doing show reports for Devo. I was doing all this stuff. So I had to have somewhere to store that video footage. I never promoted my channel. I never paid attention to subscribers or views. I never answered any comments. I really just put videos up there. And then a year and a half ago or something, I got monetized, and I was like, what does that mean? So then I started looking online, that says, you can live stream, you can do this, you can super chat, you can get money for views and whatever. And I was like, well, I'm going to look into this. So then that's what I started doing. And then just recently, I just discovered the vinyl community maybe a few months ago. I mean, I knew there was a music community on YouTube. I knew that there were music fans, but I never knew it was called the Vinyl Community VC and all this stuff. So I'm pretty new to streaming and doing music, collection videos myself. So
yeah, same here. I mean, I've watched some of those channels for like a year, a little over than a year, like channel 33 RPM, Vinyl Richie, to name a few that I've known. And from those channels, you kind of started to go down to the comments and check what are these people, what channels they have. So that's how I kind of got into that. And then a couple of more months is watching and collecting, getting encouraged to do my own first video. But and what you said, this is my very first appearance ever on a live stream. So
really,
thanks for the invitation. Yeah. And I'm gonna maybe join tomorrow, and I'm gonna give a blatant shout out to Low Noise Jason Skills.
Yeah,
he's gonna have tomorrow that live stream. I guess you know that.
Yeah, he sent me my very first VCLT recently.
Yes, I saw that. That was sweet. Yeah,
he's a super cool guy. I hardly know him at all, but he sent me this thing, and so I'm going to try to check out that stream they're having tomorrow.
Me too.
Jason Loskill, but I'm going to be drinking tomorrow starting at 2 p.m. So I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure what state I'm going to be in. Me and my neighbor, he's moving away. He's been my longtime neighbor, so we're going to get together for some drinks and walk outside. And but yeah, I'll let you go to sleep. I know it's late there, brother.
This woke me a bit, but yeah, I have an early awakening, so I need to get some rest.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, we'll see you next time, Doctor.
Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone.
All right, brother. Later on. Okay, everybody go subscribe to Dr. October. He's great. And I see Vanna Ritchie. My wife loves the actor that plays Thor. Oh, you mean the movie Thor? Yeah, I don't know nothing about the actor. The comic book Marvel. What is it, Marvel or DC? Who did Thor? I don't know. I'm not talking about that guy, obviously. But there is a Thor movie. Thor, the rocker, the rock warrior from Canada. There is a movie called I Am Thor. Vanna Ritchie, have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that? Because it's a good one. I Am Thor documentary. I'm scrolling here through the chat. I'm really going to try to pay attention to this and keep track of it. Let's see. Nobby's here. Grease Paint and Monkey Brains is here. Zeb is here. All right. Alexander's here. Impaled Nazarenes. Let's see this. Impaled Nazarenes, Suomi, Finland, Perkele was my first vinyl. Mid-90s. Bought it I have that picture disc. Suddenly I was introduced to black metal. Wow. Alexander, that was your introduction to black metal? Oh my God. That's quite an introduction. Impaled Nazarene is about, it's pretty wild stuff as far as black metal goes. It's all over the place. It's kind of like frantic punk rock. It's like obviously black metal in there, but it's really a certain breed of black metal that I really enjoy. But yeah, Dr. October's great. I'm glad that I popped his cherry on the live stream guesting. A drinking Michael would be great on Jason Skill's live stream. Oh yeah, well. I'm going to really attempt to be there, Vinyl Richie, because I think it's important. But I made plans with my neighbors so long ago that I can't bail. And it's going to be like 75 or 79 degrees here in Raleigh, North Carolina tomorrow. So I'm going to try to be outside or kind of, enjoying the day for the most part. But yeah, Vinyl Richie, if you wanted to come up here and say something, there's the stream link. Zeb, I'm drinking. Zeb, this is my day to drink here Thursdays with you guys. Now I'm drinking wine tonight, being a little classy tonight, but tomorrow's going to be beer and shots. That's what I'm talking about. Give my neighbor a little send-off gathering, socialization there. Black metal is my favorite genre ever. Oh, okay, wait, I forgot to take this comment. I always do this. I forgot to take the comment off the stream. Okay. So yeah, I Am Thor, Vinyl Richie. You got to see that movie. It was on Netflix for a while. I don't know if it still is. I'm not really a big movie guy, so I don't know much about Netflix or anything, but you will see me in the movie a lot. This was the movie. Most of the movie was filmed back in the about 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. And Thor's in my house, and I put together a little punk rock band with Thor, and there's footage of that in the movie. And I was very, I'm not ignoring you, Eddie. Hold on. I said there's going to be drunken shenanigans. What are you talking about? Of course there will be. Well, I don't know if I'll be getting drunk. It's just wine, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Alexander says, I Am Thor. Yeah, Vinyl Richie, I swear. It's a great documentary on my friend Thor, and I was just so honored to be in it. And actually, I think that movie was the first movie that put me into the, IMDb website, where it lists actors and what movies they've been in. I think I'm officially in 2 movies the hardcore Devo tour movie, and then that Thor movie. So even though I'm not a movie guy, I am in 2 movies. Doesn't that count for something? Eddie's weed tarded. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Eddie. Eddie, ain't nothing wrong with being weed tarded. You know, I'm trying to figure out if I have control over how big the comments are when I put them up on screen like this. I am Thor. We'll check it out. Because they're kind of small to me. I kind of want them to be bigger, but I don't know how to do that yet. Now, that might come with upgrading my channel, my StreamYard, to a paid monthly service, which I do plan on doing relatively soon. But anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. So let me tell you some stuff. While we're here with some vinyl community members here, let me show you some stuff I found thrifting yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I went thrifting all day, and it was a bummer of a day. Every store I'd go into, I would spend lots of time looking through stuff. Nothing. I came out empty-handed every time, except for the very last store I went to. I found like 4 or 5 items that I might be able to resell to cover my gas costs that day, or buy me lunch that day, or whatever. But I found a few things that I might be able to resell. Nothing that I wanted to keep, but some stuff I might be able to resell. So I'll just show you really quick. So here's this band, Rocks. They were kind of an 80s hard rock band, not heavy metal necessarily, not pop rock necessarily, but kind of a hard rock, pop rock, I guess. But anyway, cool promo only version of their album. I think this is 1982, 1981. I think it's 1981. Yeah. Anyway, so I think I could sell this for $25-$30 if I'm lucky. It's got the nice little the promo stamp up here. And so that was kind of an interesting find. I've never seen it before, never heard of the band before, and had to get it. Okay, so now here's this thing. Children's record on top of Old Smoky. And the thing is, with this, it's on Peter Pan Records there. With this, these kids' records, I hardly ever buy these kids' records unless they're in this kind of condition. It's so nice. I mean, the cover is like near mint. The record looks like it's hardly been played. So really old kids' records like this, somebody's going to be nostalgic for, and they're going to give me some money for it. And that's how we make things go. And then there's this. I would have never expected this to be really worth anything, but Rachel Sweet's 7-inch picture sleeve from the Hairspray movie. This is worth something. I can't remember exactly what, but it was worth me spending $0.25 on or whatever I paid for it. So there we go. That's 3 records I found. And now check this out. Okay, so I found some cassette tapes. Now this one I got because I figured a Boy George fan would want this kind of later album, Cheapness and Beauty, on cassette. It's probably not that easy to find in this great mint condition. So I'll get some money for this. Good old Boy George. Make a Boy George fan happy. Then I found this Club Nouveau. It's a 12-inch single, 12-inch cassette. It says 12-inch cassette, but what it actually is like the idea of a cassette single, but it's a 12-inch mix, which, if you look at the tape here, look at all that tape in there. Usually cassette singles, have very little actual tape in them, but this is a pretty long cassette. Now, I think the program is repeated on side 1 or side 2, same thing on both sides, but you hardly ever see 12-inch mix cassettes, and I can sell this for something. Now, this is probably the most valuable thing I found, and it's really, sometimes I'm surprised at what's valuable, but it's this, a very early promo cassette by a band called Image. That's Image right there. Oh, no, Imagine. IMAJIN. And then look, Britney Spears, a musical sampler. So this is when Britney Spears had her first album out, and there's all these tracks on here that are like a minute long, just little snippets. It has her early fan club listed right there, a little fan club address. Anyway, this might sell for as much as $50 if I'm lucky. I'm going to try it, but it's really hard to find as far as what I've seen online, and it's one of the first things ever to come out with Britney on it. And who knows what happened to Imagine? I mean, who knows? Nobody's ever heard of them, right? Anyway, that was my finds the other day, and I'm going to try to salvage that day by selling those things. So, wait a second. Alexander, what is this you're telling us? This week, I inherited a record collection, or a friend of mine who's going full digital. I'm impressed with the huge amount of unknown punk I got. Wow. That is really nice, man. Your friend did you a great favor. That is super. You're the luckiest guy in this chat right now. Zeb says, Michael Pilmer, someday you should show us the 2 Devo easy listening cassettes and LPs, etc. Oh, yeah, it would take me a minute to dig all that stuff out, but I could do that one day. If you just, Zeb, if you, I don't know if you know how to email me. If you can find out how to email me, my email is everywhere. Email me, remind me about that, and I'll dig those out. Because there's definitely a few different versions of that release. So I would need to dig some CDs out, some cassettes, some vinyl, put them all together and show you guys. So what else do I have to tell you? Oh, my goodness. I've been busy this week. Not only have I been trying to refi my house, I'm trying to apply for a PPP forgivable loan, which the government is giving out to people like me who work for themselves and have been affected by the pandemic, the music industry, whatever. So I've been applying for this loan. I haven't found out if I got it yet. I'm a little bit on pins and needles right now. And I'm also waiting to see if I've been approved for my refi. That's a little testy. But what happened yesterday was really cool. I got home from thrifting. I was kind of bummed out. I didn't find a lot of stuff. And then I get a phone call from my friend Ann, who's in the chat right now. And she's like, hey, there's this place that has extra vaccines. And if you can get over there before a certain time, you can have one today, but they're not doing an appointment. You just have to drive up. And it was a little far of drive. It was like 25 minutes or something. And I didn't know if I was going to make it. And you couldn't really like tell them to reserve one for you. So I was like, well, and just let me know if it happens again. And maybe I'll be more ready to jump in the car and go. Right after I talked to Ann, I get a message from my friend Ed, who works over near the hospital on New Bern Avenue, really kind of close to my house, maybe a 5-minute drive. And he says, hey, look, I just got word that there's a few extra Pfizer vaccines at this one place. If you can get there, I'll give me your name and just go right over right now. So he did that. And look, I got my first hoochie coochie cootie shot. I got my first circle dot cootie shot right here, guys. Sorry about that shadow from the camera. But anyway, I got my first cootie shot. I'm going for the next one on April 2nd, actually. April 2nd. I already sent my appointment up. So, yeah, we're good to go there. Hopefully that's the first step in me being able to not only see rock shows again, but work at rock shows again and be backstage and be around a bunch of dirty humans and all that stuff. Now, yeah, I did. Yeah, I got it. And I would not have fit into any category that is, getting vaccines right now. I'm not old enough. I'm not in the right industry, blah, blah, blah. But I just happened to take advantage of some surplus vaccine that was going to be wasted if I didn't go over there and get it. So I'm really happy about that. And so, Ann, you got your second shot and you're feeling a little off today, right? And what shot did you get? Oh, wait. I clicked the wrong one. Here we go. So you got your second shot, Ann, and you're feeling a little weird. Okay. Let me see, Sophia. Oh, congrats. Oh, I see what you're saying. Sophia. Congrats? Yeah, that's a little weird. I'm not sure what I would have thought about that if I just saw you say congrats, ? Yeah, so I would have had to wait, I don't know, weeks, a couple of months or something, I guess. Pfizer, okay, that's what I got too, Ann. Thanks. Wow, 27, haven't seen you in a minute. Hello. Somebody type something up here I got to find. Hold on, I got to find this. Gonna break your heart, Michael. Here we go. Gonna break your heart, Michael. Sold my only copy on CD of Shout, collectible pressing. Oh, collectible label. Yep. Got a 32. Wow, 32.49. Wow. Holy Moses. That's a lot for that CD. I'm really surprised that CD sold for that. My goodness. Oh, boy. That's interesting news. Well, yeah, Zeb, the reissue of Easy Listening is great. Shout. The reissue of Easy Listening is great, but the reissue of Shout on that collectible label, I would have never expected to go for that much. Although I have not been paying attention to what Devo has been selling for lately. So, Yeah, Keith Adams says seems to make a lot of people tired for a day. That's what I've heard. I've heard the Pfizer is not as bad as other ones, but who knows? Whatever. I guess everybody's different. We'll see how it affects me. The first shot just made my arm sore, but not bad. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here. If anybody wants to come up and join me, I would love it. I would love for somebody to come join me on the screen here so we can talk and hang out. Vinyl Richie, if you're still around, or anybody else can come on up and rap with me about stuff. Super Chat Charlie's here. He would love to light up his toilet for you, and because that's what he does. And I think that's all I had kind of set to talk about. So yeah, let's chat about stuff. Let's talk about your recent music acquisitions. Let's talk about the kind of pants you're wearing today, because that's probably important. Let's talk about what kind of socks you got on. Let's talk about, stuff, music, things, cassettes, CDs, records, concerts. Oh my God. I'm going through like mega concert withdrawal. Yeah. Just click on that link, Alexander, and then I'll see you pop up in the backstage area of my StreamYard setup. So nobody else will be able to see you. I'll see you pop up, and then I'll ask you, hey, are you ready? And you just give me a little thumbs up, and then I'll bring you on screen. Let's talk about pants, Carlin. Let's talk about, hey, Jax. Oh, you like Cheap Trick, Jax? Oh, yeah, I love Cheap Trick, Jax. Jax Tracks. Welcome. Everybody, Jax Tracks. He's a young man with a very cool YouTube channel, does a lot of records, videos, and such. Very into music. This kid is great. And I got to tell you, Jax Tracks, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I told a little story about Cheap Trick. How I started listening to Cheap Trick was, I was a big Kiss fan. Kiss was my first love when I was a kid. And Cheap Trick sang about Kiss records in their song Surrender. And so that's what made me start listening to Cheap Trick. And then I became a fan for life. So Cheap Trick was the second band I ever loved in my life. Zeb says the newest easy listening Devo CD is also fantastic sounding. Yep. Too bad I didn't get the Swizzle Stick edition. Oh yeah. There's a Devo Swizzle Stick edition, easy listening reissue that was quite cool. And then there was also the Recombo. Did you get the Recombo Devo box set, Zeb, with they had this limited edition lab coat that they printed? Oh my God, it was great. Hey, I see Alexander. I'm going to bring him up. Are you ready? Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, great. Alexander's ready. Let's bring him on. Howdy.
Hey.
How are you, man?
Can you hear me? Is everything all right there?
Yeah, I can see you, and you have a Merciful Fate shirt on.
Yes.
That is nice.
With the last press that was released last year here in Europe. I don't know how. I think that Metal Blade put it out into the US market as well, but yeah, this is the European shop version. It comes in bundles with the vinyl. So I got the 3 first records, and it came with 3 shirts with the art.
Wow, that's amazing. What a deal.
Very cool. Yeah.
I own very little. I don't even know if I own any Merciful Fate on vinyl. I think I just have a cassette, but I did.
Yeah, I saw it on your
That's right, on the video. Yeah. But I did see King Diamond once in concert, and it wasn't very long ago. It was probably, 4 or 5 years ago or something, and he was doing this Halloween tour. And I think it was in November when I saw him, but he was doing the whole Abigail album.
Oh yeah, I went to this tour twice. I went once in Brazil and then in Denmark when I moved to Europe, because it was like I want to see the king in his own home,
Yeah.
So I went to Denmark to watch it there. But I guess that in Brazil, since it was my first time seeing him, it was, I don't know, for me it was special.
Yeah, it was special for me too, because I didn't really expect to see him. I had no plans to see him. I didn't even know he was touring. And I was in New York City for a Thor concert that I was working at, Thor, the Rock Warrior. So he was playing in Brooklyn, and I had a day off the day before. So I was hanging out with a friend of mine named James in New York, and James has all these connections in New York. He works at record stores and nightclubs, and he just knows everybody. So we're walking through Times Square at 5 or 6 p.m. in the evening, and he says, hey, see that line over there that's wrapping around the building? I was like, yeah. He was like, that's the line for the King Diamond show tonight.
Oh, wow.
He's playing 3 nights in a row. Times Square, all shows are sold out. I was like, oh, man, that's a bummer. He was like, we can get in if you want. You want to go in and see him? I was like, yeah.
Of course,
so we just walked to the front of the line. He waves at somebody in the ticket booth. They let us in. I immediately bought a tour shirt. And then I went down to see one of the most blasphemous shows I've ever seen. It was just amazing. And if you search my YouTube page for King Diamond, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it for sure.
I'm pretty sure I have video from that show on my page.
Yeah, it's crazy because the guy's more than 60 now, and he's singing better than ever after he quit smoking. And I was totally impressed.
Oh, I didn't know he quit smoking.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a kid now. I think that he's keeping the sober style for now, but that made such a great impact on his singing style.
Yeah.
Because, those very high-pitched voice, it's hard to keep it like that, especially when you grow older. Yeah. And I don't know, man. The guy's just pure talent,
Yeah, I was so glad I saw that. I felt very, very lucky. And my friend Hot Frog's here, and he has something cool to say. He says, hello, Michael. I just picked up a very important record in my life, Diary of a Madman. It's an original pressing. That is awesome.
That's great.
That record changed my life. When Diary of a Madman came out, there was a friend of mine named Brandon who, was from suburbia. He had some pretty conservative Christian parents, and they gave him a hard time. And so he was always rebelling against that. And so I bought Diary of a Madman on album, and we brought it over to his house, and we had this whole thing planned where we were going to do a seance, kind of a ritual to open the album and listen to it. So we made this pentagram on the floor with tape, on his bedroom floor. It was a big pentagram. And then we had candles on the end of the pentagram points. And then we took the album and we laid it in the pentagram, and it was still sealed in shrink wrap. And then we took a knife and we cut each other's fingers so they bled. And then we put the blood, we were bleeding, and then we cut the album open with the same knife. And on the inner sleeve, we both put our fingerprints in blood. And then we listened to the album while we were sitting in the pentagram.
Oh, wow. Well, that's the way to do it, man.
I still have it, and it still has blood on the inner sleeve.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very
that's
important.
The right way to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were crazy kids. We were trying to get to hell quicker.
Well, yeah. I grew up in the black metal scene back in Brazil, which is, I don't know, way more extreme than everywhere else I've been.
Yeah. Now is the band Brujeria, they're from Mexico, right?
They're from Mexico, yeah. I guess that they are from the US, but the singer is from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
But the band was formed in the US.
Now, what about some bands from Brazil that are...
Well, Sepultura, I guess, is the biggest one.
Okay, all right.
And there's this... In the early Sepultura, there was a schism, and one of the guys formed his own band called Sarcófago. Don't know if you heard about it. I can show you. Wait a second.
Yeah. I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever heard it. All right. Sophia says a box set was probably the second or third Devo thing I ever bought. Oh, that's great. It's a good one to have, Sophia. It really covers a whole big part of their career. Here we go.
All right. So, sorry.
No, it's all good.
This is a landmark in black metal history. This is Inhi by Sarcófago. And this record right now, this is the first press, is rated on Discogs for at least 250 euro, the cheapest one.
Wow.
And I bought it like for €2 with the guy from the band. Yeah, sure. Like I bought it like when everybody was getting rid of their vinyl to get it on CD.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And it's so here, Antichrist, the singer, he was the first singer in Sepultura.
Wow.
Regarding Brazilian extreme scene, I guess that the most famous band nowadays is a band formed all by girls. It's called Nervosa, and they play thrash metal. And there was also a split between Nervosa and the other. Now there's another band called Crypta, also formed by girls. But both bands are international now, so they have like members from different countries. And they're both signed under Napalm Records, if I'm not wrong. Right. And there's also Crisian, which was
I've seen Crisian. Way back in the day, way back in the I want to say 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah.
at a little tiny club. I think it was. Oh man, it was a bunch of cool bands. It was Christian. Fuck, I can't remember who they were touring with, but it was like 3 or 4 bands that were amazing, and a little tiny club out here in North Carolina. It was great.
Very nice. Yeah.
I gotta address something in the chat here.
Sure.
Chick Eastwater asked a question about that Ozzy record. She said, "Does that have the satanic letters on the inside?" No, that Diary of a Madman is the record that has the satanic script. I don't know what the language is called, but it's basically a different language. And there's all these words written in witchcraft around the inside of the sleeve. And you'll also see the same witchcraft writing on Speak of the Devil. But on the inside of Diary of a Madman, there's all this text that we went to the library and looked up satanic writing or witchcraft or something, and then we deciphered everything. And it says something like the Ozzy Osbourne Band, and then it says something stupid, like some silly joke or something, but it's in witchcraft. So we did translate it, and I think the translation sheet, I think I put it inside the inner sleeve of my record. So one day I'll probably show that on a video or something and tell the whole story about the seance and the pentagram and everything. Yeah.
That's a very nice story indeed.
I mean, we were just, we had to, it was important to us, that record. And for me to get a new record wasn't something I took lightly because, we were on like food stamps and welfare, and it wasn't like I was buying records all the time. So when I got a new record, man, it was like, oh, we got to make this special when we open this.
Yeah, of course.
We're going straight to hell. So, so how long have you been on the VC YouTube community?
I just joined, I was, that's the crazy thing. I collected records I started, I guess, in 96 with Impaled Nazarene, as I mentioned.
Uh-huh.
And I moved to Germany in 2018. But I started selling everything that I had back in Brazil to move to Germany with the money. So last year, when the concerts were canceled, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start collecting again.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I'm rebuilding from scratch. The only 2 records that I haven't sold was this sarcophagal one on vinyl and the Celtic Frost to Megatherion. Also first press from Noise Records. And I kept like the Emperor CDs and the CDs from my band, of course.
Now what's your band?
It's called Violite.
What does that sound like?
It's depressive black metal. It's like slow black metal. It's like very low tempo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Doomish with a lot of keyboard driven.
How long have you guys been out doing stuff?
15 years now.
No shit. So you've toured and everything.
No, we don't play. We're only 2, and so we do everything.
Wow.
The other guy, he composes all the music. I compose all the lyric, and when we are recording, we would just like find something in between.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you can do it long distance.
Yeah, but he's also Brazilian, and now he's living in Glasgow, in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, the way that I got most of my. Oh, hey, Tracy Winfield. Sorry. Ja Poople's here too. Hey, what's up? So the way I got most of my black metal vinyl that I have right now, not all of it, but a big section of it was when I first visited Sweden, and I believe it was 2001 or maybe 1999, something like that. I went over there to visit some friends, and I was visiting. Do you know the band Bewitched?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Marcus, the singer, and I were friends. And so I flew over there and I stayed at a friend of his apartment, and he took me around to all these great black metal places in Sweden. And there was one in particular, record store, that was kind of down in a basement. You kind of be walking down the street in the city, and then you'd go down these stairs underneath other stores, and the whole store inside was painted black. It was all black on the walls. Okay. There were big upside down crosses on the walls, and everything in that store was black metal or death metal, mostly black metal. So I went in there like a kid in a candy store. I was just like, I think I bought like 2 or 3 Impaled Nazarene records. I bought some Celtic Frost. I bought a Celtic Frost bootleg album. I bought some Mayhem stuff, limited edition picture discs. Because it was so cheap to me, because I was thinking, God, this is like a Swedish pressing. This would have cost me so much money. So I just loaded up and stuff, and got a lot of.
Right now, I bet it's not that cheap, man. Black metal, it became insane to collect.
Yeah.
Even my band, like the records on Discogs, they are rated like €100.
Well, how many records did you guys put out?
2. I can show you that. Wait a second.
Show me. Yeah. Nothing else going on here. Let's talk about it. Hey, Ja Poople, nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming here. Yeah, busy times. It's good to see you. Tracy Winfield. Hello, Tracy.
All right, so this is our first demo. It's called Suicide Depression.
Oh my goodness! Look how cool that cover is. Just so
plain. Gatefold. Yeah.
Wow! Look at that.
Yeah, and this was released originally in 2007 on tape. In the contest that I made for your challenge, I showed the tape.
Right. I remember that now. Yeah.
And there are many versions on CD as well. This vinyl came out like 5 years ago, maybe. It got sold out in like a month because it was only 300 copies, I guess.
Wow, that's amazing.
So there were like 100 in black and 200 in silver vinyl.
Now, how many did you get for your own purposes? Did you get a box?
We got like 10% or something.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
How many of those have you gone? How many of those do you still have? How many do you usually keep of your own stuff? Like
I keep only one copy for myself, but I kept one of the black and one of the silver. Everything else, I either gave it to my friends or sold it. Last year I was shorting money when the quarantine started, so I had like 10 here, maybe because I was too lazy to sell it before. I was like, okay, right now it's the time, because on Discogs it was €100. I was like, guys, I'm selling it for 60, shipping included,
Wow, that's cool.
And I sold it in 30 minutes or something like that on our Facebook page.
Now,
this is our full length.
Wait, who did the graphics on that first one?
It's the other guy from the band. He's a graphic designer. So this is our latest album, No Moral Shutdown. It's already 7 years old. It's also a gatefold.
Wow, look how similar it is to the first one. That's cool.
Yeah, and the third one is coming out on June 6th. It has a similar artwork, but this one is like, it was supposed to be golden, but it's very yellowish.
Yeah, it's like a big egg. It's great.
Yeah, it's like an egg. An inverted egg.
It's like a breakfast biscuit.
Yeah, but I love it because like my favorite band, which is Battery, the first album from Battery, was supposed to have a goat on the cover, and the goat was printed in yellow. I was like, okay, my band has the same story right now.
That's great.
And it was so nice. Yeah.
That's great. Our friend Sophia, who is not really into metal, but she's might join us on screen soon. And let's see what else is happening here. Eddie M says that Sarcophago record rules. So Eddie, tell us, what band were you in again? Remind me, Eddie. Eddie M here, it was in a band that toured with some other bands back in the day. Let's see if I can find that.
Let me check on.
Let me see if I can find his comment.
Oh, I live very close to Hanover. I live in Bremen, north to Hanover, between Hanover and Hamburg.
So Eddie says we've opened for Brujeria a few times.
Great.
4 times. Yeah. Let's see if he's put in the chat here what his band name is called. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a minute for the chat to catch up. But yeah, how great to talk to you today, man. And
it was very nice joining. It's also my first live stream.
No way.
Yeah. I live streamed before, but it was during Corona times when I was giving classes and stuff like that, some seminars. Yeah. But talking music is my first time.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I wish Dr. October could have hung around. His channel is great, and his videos are such
I'm following his channel as well, and I really like his style. He's got a very peculiar sense of humor.
Oh, it's so funny, and it's just, I'm telling you, like you and him, and there's a few other people here in the vinyl community that I could totally see myself sitting in a room with for hours, having a few drinks and talking about music. I could do it. I could do it with you guys. I swear I could. Yeah. So what is and everybody has this story from these pandemic times. If you're a music fan, what was the show? Because everybody has shows that got canceled that they were going to go see. What's the show that you most regret got
Merciful
canceled?
Fate, because they disbanded in the, I guess, 99. They played in Brazil in 96, but I was too young to go. They played on Monsters of Rock in Brazil. I already liked them, but I was like 10 years old or something, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
So my
Wow.
first Monsters of Rock in Brazil was in '98. I was already 12, but my mom signed a letter to a friend of mine who was 18 for him to enter with me.
Really?
So I
Wow.
watched, at the age of 12, I watched Slayer, Manowar, Megadeth, Dream Theater, Sabotage, Glenn Hughes, you
You
name
saw
it, man.
Manowar?
Yeah, I saw Manowar a few times. I
Oh
guess 3
man,
times. Yeah,
I would have loved to seen them. I never was in the
yeah,
right place at the right time to
yeah.
see them.
One of their concerts in Brazil was horrible because they didn't play any classic song. They only played like songs from their 3 latest albums, and it became like a huge shame. I don't know why it happened like that. Apparently, they had a problem with their record label that was not allowing them to play their early
Oh,
stuff.
that's
So
awful.
yeah, and for them to regain the rights upon their own music, they needed to re-record those first records. But it was not a good thing, Like those
Oh, right,
re-recordings were like, okay, totally pointless somehow.
right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have a story to tell you about the concert that got canceled that I wanted to see. But first, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Sophia. I met her because she's a huge fan of Devo, and I'm trying to get her into metal. I don't think it's going to work, but we're going to bring her up on screen. Are you ready, Sophia? Okay, cool. Here she comes. The beautiful Sophia. How are you?
Hi,
Hello.
Sophia.
Alexander.
Hi there, Alex.
Hi.
So we're talking about concerts that we wanted to see that got canceled. Is there one that comes up that you're thinking of?
I guess the big one for me was Cruel World because we were all ready to go there, and I was going to go there with the friend who I went to Desert Days with, and it was basically like just for Devo. Like there were some other bands that would be fun to see, like seeing Blondie again would have been great, but we were mainly there for Devo, and it was a bit of a dilemma because Cruel World was announced, and we already had tickets to a show for the Residents that same weekend. So before everything shut down, we were like debating, like, what do we do with these Residents tickets? Because I wanted to see the Residents, but it was like with how we would have to do the flights, then the rest of the show would be like, it was like that Friday, and then Devo were playing for World Saturday or something. So like it wasn't logistical to be able to go to both.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, actually, then the pandemic cured you of having to make that decision, really.
Yeah, and then hopefully if Punk Rock Bowling happens, which I'm crossing my fingers for that because we're definitely planning on going to that.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers too. Alexander, just to let you know, so Cruel World was a festival announced for California, and it had all these great 80s bands like Devo and Blondie, and it just, the list went on. Like it seemed unreal.
That's what I like as well.
It seemed like it was too good to be true. Everybody was saying, "Oh, look at this lineup. There's no way this is real." And then, of course, it was too good to be true because it got canceled. But and then Desert Days is another show that she was talking about where Devo played out in the desert with a bunch of other cool bands, and that actually happened, and that was wild. That was great.
That was an amazing time. As my first music festival experience. It was such a fun time.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. I'd never been in a desert like that to see a show, and I was coughing up dirt for the next couple of days after that. It was crazy. So the show that I was thwarted from seeing because of the pandemic was Carcass was going to be touring, and Carcass has the same tour manager as Devo has. So I know. I know the tour manager, and the tour manager of Carcass knows that I'm a huge Carcass fan from back in the day. And so every time Carcass plays, I'm able to go and see the band and hang out in the bus.
Nice.
And, and so I had all these shows lined up, 4 or 5 shows that I was going to go to, and they all got canceled. It drove me crazy.
The King Diamond concert in Brazil, Carcass opened for King Diamond.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was Lamb of God, Heaven Shall Burn, Carcass, a Brazilian band called Test, which is a great band. You should check on them. It's only 2 guys. And these 2 guys, they became famous playing on concerts doors. Like the singer and guitar player, he's got a van, and he would put the drums inside the van with the amps, and he would stop in every fucking concert. I'm sorry for the sorry for the F word here. And
That's
they
great.
would play,
It's okay.
and they would play in every concert, like in the sidewalk, in front of the concert,
Wow.
before the concerts, like an entertainment for people that were in line, like the
That
early
is
birds.
brilliant.
That's pretty
Yeah,
great.
and they got very well known, and yeah, it's called Test.
That is brilliant. You have to look them up.
Yeah.
There's something similar that we did when Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo, we decided that we were going to do some art show tours for him way back in 2002. And so basically at the last minute, because I had lost my job, so I was looking for another job. And he said, look, maybe we can book a bunch of art shows. Why don't you see what you can do? Just contact a bunch of little galleries and see what happens. So the first show that we were able to book just happened to be in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And these people had very little money. They were a very, very small gallery, but they were going to fly me, and I think they flew Mark out there too, to be with the show. But what happened was they lost their gallery space before we actually got there. Like maybe a couple of months before the show, they lost their space. So then they rented a box truck, and they built a gallery in the box truck with track lighting and everything. And so we made all the prints very small, and we filled this box truck with them. And then we just drove around the island and parked in front of like hip places in town and just had this gallery in a truck. It was amazing. And it was like the first show I'd ever done for him. So I was thinking to myself, oh my God, how wild is this that we're doing this in the back of a truck, right? But it was something.
Yeah, but that's the do-it-yourself spirit, right? That's how it should be.
His whole point with those tours was to get his art into the hands of people who had never bought art before. He wanted to convince somebody that instead of buying a record or a beer or some weed or whatever they were going to usually spend their money on, not that he's against that stuff, but he just thought, oh, how cool would it be if I could convince somebody to buy their very first piece of art, which happened all the time.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Pretty
I'm done running my mouth. Somebody else run their mouth for a while. How about that? But yeah, so the chat is blowing up here. Any love for Yellow Magic Orchestra?
I love Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Of course, Sophia loves them.
They're great. Very innovative band.
Yeah, they were early on synth guys, and they kind of all their design was very, very what would be stereotypical 80s synth pop stuff now, but they were cutting edge back then.
They were, yeah. I actually have their first album on vinyl. I found it for like $5.
Wow.
I'd never seen it before, so yeah, that's a really good album.
Hey, I'm just going to say hi to a couple of people. Mark B, I just noticed you in the chat. Hello. I'm trying to find Eddie's band name because I missed it again. I don't know if he ever typed it in here, but I can't find it. I want to know what band
I'm going to look for it.
Yeah, Eddie, type your band name in the chat one more time. I'm going to put it on the screen so we know what to look for, because I always forget what band you're in. And I'm going to pour some more wine in a second. So what else? Sophia, have you gotten any new musical purchases that you want?
I do have something I would like to talk about. And it's actually one that I already had on CD that inexplicably showed up in a store near where I live, where I totally would not have expected it, albeit it was a different store. And I passed on it the first time because it was a $15 CD, and I don't spend that much on a single CD. And I ended up getting that CD for Christmas a few weeks later, which was nice. And I found it on vinyl for the exact same price.
Oh, wow.
Last week, $15 for Lark's first EP, the project of Joe Biafra and Al Jorgensen, which is a great album. And
it is, indeed.
For $15, you would assume it would just be like the album, because it's not something that you see ever. It came with a lyric sheet, and it came with this little promo flyer that you would send in for a catalog for Alternative Tentacles, where you can get your Dead Kennedys on CD for the first time. You can get your Klaus Fluoride and your No Means No and your Alice Donut.
Have you ever heard that Klaus Fluoride?
But I haven't checked out any of that.
I haven't either. I've always wanted to hear that Klaus Fluoride ever since I was a kid, but I never heard it.
Yeah, it always interested me.
Because he was like, I think he may have been the guy that introduced kind of that surf kind of sound to Dead Kennedys. That
yeah.
Kind of the 60s like guitar sound. I'm assuming he was the one that did that. Now Tracy says that she hates the cover of that record.
Holy.
I don't really think it was meant to be loved.
Yeah.
You never know.
Like it.
Okay, so I'm still not seeing Eddie putting his band name in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't got it as well.
I keep looking.
He's keeping it a secret. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Zeb says he has the Dead Kennedys H.R. Geiger poster. You know what he's talking about?
So cool. I really want that.
It's a really disturbing poster.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that on your wall.
Yeah.
You just keep it in the record where mine has been for 20-something years. It's folded up and in the record.
Yeah.
It's a gross poster.
That's the good thing about Geiger.
Yeah.
Tracy
Artwork
says
is indeed disturbing, but art is supposed to be like that, right? It's supposed to make you feel something, or
yeah.
There we go.
Boundaries.
Maggot Colony is Eddie's
Maggot
band.
Colony.
all right.
That's
So it's obviously pop music.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Debbie Gibson cover band.
Yeah,
I think it's a Debbie Gibson cover band.
Wunderbar.
Maggot Colony, the Debbie Gibson cover band. I'm a big fan. So where's Abnorm? Abnorm, why don't you come up here with your pants on? Last time Abnorm was here, one of the recent times, he took his pants off, which was great.
Sometimes.
But he
but
did
being
not
at home, I can judge.
Yeah, you can't judge him. You can't judge.
During quarantine, I guess that it was seldom that I had shirt and pants on. I mean, right now.
Yeah, we don't know if you have pants on. We don't, nobody knows.
I've got shorts.
Now here's my friend Abnorm. I'm going to add him to the stream. You ready, Abnorm? All right. I like to make sure people are ready. You ready? Okay, he's ready. Cool. All right. Look at him. He's got pants and everything.
Hey, the only reason. Hey there.
Hi.
That was going to be the Lisa Casali No Pants Jam. So
that's right. And you were following
it. I dropped him, so
I know why you did it. But I'm just very honored and impressed that you did it.
Yeah.
So I know Abnorm. We're talking a lot about metal. You're not really a metal guy, right? Are you a metal guy?
Not traditional metal. I listen to a lot of heavy, messed up stuff, but I mean, more traditional heavy metal is not quite my.
Well, let's see if you and Alexander have any. Let's see if you can name a band that maybe Alexander knows. I'm interested to see, like some weird stuff that you might be into that he might know.
Well, I don't know if this is.
Look, he has pants on.
I do. I was listening to this earlier this week.
What is it called?
Bong. So you got a nice inverted cross on there too.
Yeah.
So this was it's a British band. This is like 3 CDs full of really dirty, muddy live recordings.
Really?
Kind of sludgy. Moaning doom but they have a sitar in there, kind of doing some other stuff too. So it's a little interesting, but
I like that logo. It speaks to me.
There's some really fuzzy.
Oh, look at that!
Nice
photos and stuff.
It's all live recordings.
Yeah, these are. I think I have one.
All right.
One studio recording, which doesn't sound a lot better, but as far as quality wise, it's interesting.
Yeah, I've got some friends that are very into Bong. Not
really?
Talking about the band. Just kidding.
Not the band.
No. For real, like they really enjoyed the band.
See, I knew that there was some. I knew that Abnorm would say something that Alexander knew about. I just knew.
Yeah. I never paid much attention to them. Like I would totally do it a few years ago, but I don't know. For me, it's like this sludge stoner thing. Sort of. I got fed off from those musical genre and stuff like that. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that I don't like it. It's just that for now, I feel like I need some recovery time because that's basically what I used to listen 10 years ago. Of course, if Electric Wizard put something out, of course, I would go to listen to that. But I should get more into
I've got some Electric Wizard. I don't listen to them a lot, but I
Yeah.
like from time to time. So
that band name reminds me. I think I saw Electric Wizard play some festival that Devo was playing. There was like some huge music festival in the UK or somewhere. I don't know.
They're from the UK. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think I saw Electric Wizard play a pretty big room, and it was really sludgy, doomy, stoner. It was kind of like I thought I was watching like Black Sabbath because it sounds like Black Sabbath.
Yeah, they're really Sabbath inspired.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but all I kept thinking
much
of was
more satanic than Sabbath, I guess.
oh well,
Yeah.
More
I can show a T-shirt from, and you'll notice what they're all about. It reminds me of your story of the Ozzy and Pentagram. Wait a second.
Okay, great. Now, Sophia, I want to ask you something, Sophia.
What?
I had you listen to Carcass at some point. Did you ever listen to Carcass?
I think I did. I don't remember what they sounded like at all.
Okay.
Actually.
Well, at some point, I want to get your opinion on Carcass. Oh, look at
So this is the typical Electric Wizard artwork. All right, maybe
like
YouTube is gonna censor. And behind
that's like full color print.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a nice screen print.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. I got this on their concert on Brutal Assault, like the festival that takes place in Czech Republic.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that. Look at what Abnorm's showing. What is that?
That's the latest.
An album. Yeah, their latest album.
That's their album cover. So
that woman's got cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sophia, I want to hear your review of Carcass, or maybe you could do a reaction video to Carcass.
Nah, not my thing.
Go for their first album.
Oh God, the first album is nothing.
Reek of Putrefaction. Yeah,
it's like an industrial.
Impossible to listen. Yeah.
The first Carcass record, Sophia, is so brutal. It's like pure noise. The vocals are completely unintelligible. It's like brutal industrial noise. It's barely heavy metal.
Yeah. No, it's barely anything.
Yeah.
just noise.
Yeah. It's great. And then they got a little more if death metal can be pop at all, they got a little more pop, which I loved that stuff too. I mean, I love the brutal noise, but that pop stuff like Heartwork and the albums.
Yeah, well, Heartwork, I guess it was one of the most important albums of death metal in the mid-90s because it brought something totally different, which all the melodic bands came after.
Yeah,
and
Carcass always has a nice groove.
Is well known for doing nowadays what Carcass did back in '95.
Yeah. It was one of those things where they got ridiculed for it, but their music had such a groove to it. It wasn't like standard, just like punch you in the face metal. It had this nice groove to it somehow. Yeah. And I can't even explain if it was like a kind of a funky kind of groove or just like, I don't know what it was, but it was something different about Carcass music for me.
I guess it was the Pantera influence on all these bands that came, even the previous bands. Like Pantera was such a big band in the beginning of the 90s, in a moment where grunge was taking place over the metal that was already on a downfall, that all of these bands, even, I don't know, Sepultura, Slayer, and even Carcass went after this groove that Pantera had that sort of gave some new breath to metal in the early 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah, I dig it.
I saw Pantera, I guess, on their Cowboys from Hell tour in a tiny little club in Chicago. I mean, you could touch up and reach the ceiling. And who else is there? Wrathchild America, who I never really heard anything else from. They were cool though, and some local bands. But they actually Dimebag broke his guitar in the middle of the set, and he didn't have a spare guitar. I mean, that's what that's where they were at the time. He had to go find a guitar from one of the other bands and
crazy
mess around to waste time. So.
That's it. And now that would be considered maybe a mistake or a huge problem for some fans to have to watch him go find a new guitar. But to me, that's the beauty of those little shows. Like you would have to.
Yeah, they just kept playing. They just did whatever they could with what they had until they picked it up.
You know, if they were a bigger band, he just would have had 6 guitars off to the side and grabbed one. But being a small band and being put in that predicament, I love watching how bands sort that out. You know, like.
Yeah, but it's crazy because they played in Monsters of Rock in Russia for 2 million people 1 year after that, probably.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chick Eastwater just mentioned Angel Witch. Remember that?
I'm a big Angel Witch fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
don't
all
have
of
any of
this.
their stuff.
Yeah. I like all of the new wave of British heavy metal. There's a festival here in Germany called Keep It True that
I've
only
heard of
brings back these bands from the new wave of British heavy metal scene and alike from the late 70s, early 80s. It takes place in a small city in the southern Germany area. It's called Keep It True. And there's a lot of bands that only put one album or two albums that they get a full reunion of their original lineup to play there. It's crazy.
I've heard of that festival, and I think if Thor didn't play at that, he was supposed to. But
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
I remember him telling me about that for sure.
Yeah, Thor was going to play there.
Tracy Winfield says, I saw Voivod at a local club called the Green Door in Montclair, California. I've never seen Voivod.
My dad would be jealous of you, Tracy. He loves Voivod.
Yeah, Darren loves Voivod. I know. Let's see. Man, all these people are asking these great questions about. Okay, anybody want to say their favorite krautrock albums? Question from Zachary.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, for me, it's always going to be Kraftwerk. I mean, if that's still considered krautrock at that point. But,
yeah, that's the thing. Like the definition of krautrock is somehow a little bit blurred sometimes. Can you consider Birth Control krautrock, or maybe they are too? Birth Control?
Never heard of them.
Me neither.
Man, you should. Wait.
Heard of them.
Okay, I gotta see it. Yeah, get it. I love how he has to pull the things out of his ears, but every time that's great.
Yeah.
That's
I listen to a lot of stuff that's modern stuff that's kind of krautrock inspired, but a lot of the classic stuff. I listen to some Can. I like that. If that counts.
Oh,
like
Can are great. I love them.
Oh, I've never heard of that or seen that, Alexander.
All right, this is Birth Control. Yeah, well, they're quite big here in Germany. I would say that they are more hard rock than the experimental side of krautrock.
Those dudes.
Yeah, but it's very good. And they have a song here called Gamma Ray. So here, the first song in the side B. And this song influenced Kai Hansen when he left Halloween to create his own band, and he named Gamma Ray after this song.
Oh.
So, yeah.
It sounds like an interesting album.
It is. You should listen to it. It's called Hoodoo Man. It's a very nice song for those who like classic rock, hard rock, experimentalism of krautrock. Go for it.
Interesting. I like I really enjoy Noi. They are a great band.
Yeah.
And there's a krautrock band that only released one album called Blackwater Park is the name of the band. Opeth released an album named Blackwater Park after this band, and they have this album called Dirt Box. I guess the first album right now it's worth like 500 euro or something like that. It's
wow.
Also a very good band. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Sophia. Keep on.
Oh, it's fine. I was just saying that I really love Noi, which was that was from Kraftwerk, I know. And I love Kraftwerk too, but I think I like Noi a bit better, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I own some Noi, but it was never one of those things I listened to a lot. I was much more, focused on Kraftwerk, like their Computer World, the very pop stuff they did. I really loved that stuff. It took me a while to discover the older Kraftwerk stuff, but I don't know much about krautrock, so I don't even know what's considered that. I know that there's some German bands that I love, but they're not krautrock, like Trio. There's three guys. They did a pop song called Anna, Let Me In, Let Me Out. They were really wild stuff. And then in the 90s, one of Trio's songs got used in a car commercial, so they kind of blew up again and got rediscovered. But way back in the 80s, I was really into that German band. I want to mention something about Halloween, because you were talking about Halloween.
Big fan.
I don't know much about them, and I don't even own any of them. But another guy in the vinyl community here, he goes by the name AGK. He showed some finds that he found recently, and he got a Halloween record, a really early one. I can't remember what the title was, but it was like a Korean pressing in mint condition for like, a couple bucks or something. I don't know, but it was. I couldn't believe he found it. I think he found it in a thrift store or something, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was really cool.
If I can give you a suggestion, the Noise Records, like a German label from here, they are releasing some boxes of bands with their classic albums that were released under Noise. And Noise released this box from Halloween called Starlight. It comes with their first 4 albums plus compilation plus, I guess, 2 EPs. I can show you that as well. And right now they released the Creator called Under the Guillotine with the first 6 Creator albums. And it's very cheap. I paid like €100. I guess that in the US should be $120 or something like that. And it's totally worth it. I can show the box set here.
Yeah, show us. Yeah. Oh my God. Next time he's going to show up with a pile of stuff next to him so he doesn't have to get up. This is great. Well, I'm so glad that Alexander and Dr. October, 2 people from way over across the world there, were able to join us tonight. And it's their first live stream experience. This is great. So I was just saying how great it was. I was just saying how great it was that you and Dr. October were able to join us today, and it was your first time doing this thing. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the box. This is Starlight. It comes in a massive box, as you can see.
Yeah.
And it comes like in a A1 poster. I guess it's a double-sided poster.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a little bit too big to open. It comes also with a slip mat.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That pumpkin logo is so ridiculous.
It is. So this is their first EP.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and every record has a different color. So this one is translucent red. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
and
nice.
Then so there's the first album, which is my favorite one, Walls of Jericho. This one, I guess it's orange. And there's also the EP, Judas.
Oh, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, this is, I guess that this comes with some live tracks, and in the original pressing are different live tracks or different live sets that has on this special box. I don't know why they changed, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
I guess the original one was from a concert back in 85 or something, and they put something recorded in 86, maybe because the sound quality is better.
Oh, cool.
So this is their landmark, Keeper of the 7 Keys Part 1.
Oh, wow.
I guess this is probably the album that started the melodic power metal in the way that we know it nowadays.
Really? I'd be interested to hear that one. Sure.
And this is Keeper Part 2.
Look at them hands.
Yeah. And on Keeper Part 2, the cover is the background that you find here on the Keeper 1. So same scenario. Yeah.
I see.
And of course, this compilation, The Best, the Rest, the Rare, which has like some B-sides and live tracks. Yeah, all in the same box.
Wow. Now
on Nuclear Blast here, it costs €99. So it's very affordable for.
I didn't see the record in there that AGK found Korean pressing of. Nothing. It didn't strike me as being the same cover art, but maybe that's because it was Korean pressing. Maybe it had a different cover art.
Or maybe it's a different album. Halloween has, I don't know. These are only the first. After they changed singers one more time.
There's a question about it here. Can you answer that, Alexander?
Well, I can check it here.
Says, who produced Halloween Keeper of 1 and 2?
Okay, let's see.
Look at him. He's gonna give you the answer, Chick Eastwater. He's gonna hook you up.
All right. It will be easier to check on Metal Archives though, but
True.
Yeah. Mixed by, engineered by, produced by Tommy Newton. Tommy Newton produced the Keeper 1. And let me check the Keeper 2, if it was also him. It doesn't say who produced, but engineered by Tommy Hansen.
Good old
and Tommy Newton. Yeah, cool. Tommy Hansen and Tommy Newton. So Tommy Newton is behind the production of the two albums.
Yeah, Chick knows about this stuff. All right, cool. So here, Max Mars is throwing down some maybe krautrock bands here. What do you think?
Kraftwerk, Ammonia.
I don't know.
German bands.
Yeah.
There's a new
about KMFDM. I heard very little of them. The father of my girlfriend is a big fan, and he likes it a lot with Amon Duul II, which is probably, despite Kraftwerk, the second most well-known krautrock here. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But I don't know them enough. But I should listen to that.
Yeah.
On Easter, I'm gonna spend with my girlfriend's parents, and I'm gonna remember that suggestion. I'm like, okay, spin it. He's also a record collector.
Oh, good.
And he's been doing that for the last 50 years, I guess. So you can imagine that his collection is quite outstanding. Because, yeah, he lived close to Hamburg in the beginning of the 60s, 70s. So it's basically when the Beatles started getting famous here in Hamburg. So the entire rock and roll scene, and after the krautrock scene, basically emerged from there.
That's interesting. I'm really bad with discovering new stuff. Like, because when I was growing up and through the 80s and 90s, I was just listening to the same stuff that I'd always listened to over and over and over again. And I was really not, especially later in college and after college, I was really not into discovering new bands because I was so into what I'd grown up with. So it's really hard for me to find new bands because I'm always dipping back into my collection to hear stuff. I don't really go out to discover new stuff. So I need to force myself to dig into some other things.
Yeah.
There's a German band called Camera who just had a new album out a couple weeks ago, I think. Very kind of old school krautrock kind of style. I think they might have even had on their last album, they might have had somebody from Cluster or somebody play with them. So if you're anybody into that type of stuff, check out Camera. They're really cool.
Interesting.
Right.
I've never heard that stuff. Now, what about this? What is your take on the French? Now, I know Magma is a very popular. What is it? Is it called prog? Is that considered prog?
It's prog. Yeah.
Because I know that those records go for a lot of money. That's all I know about Magma is that their early records go for a ton of money.
One of my friends is really into Magma. I haven't checked them out yet, though.
Yeah, I haven't heard them either.
I don't know. I kind of like some of their stuff. I haven't heard a lot of it, but they're a little out there for me. I do like proggy stuff, but I like them a little more of the instrumental side. They do a lot of kind of operatic vocals and stuff, which is a little distracting to me sometimes. But
oh wait, so Zeb says Magma isn't prog, it's Zool. Whatever that is.
The deal with Magma was that they came up with this whole alien language that they sung all their songs in or something. Really? Right?
Yeah.
Really, because there's another band, a kind of an early punk band from LA called Zolar X. Maybe they're from San Francisco. Zolar X, their own language too. They had this alien language, and they dressed like aliens, and they had these crazy 60s bob wigs on. I don't know, crazy. Yeah. But they made their own language, and
the Finnish band Circle, who I'm a big geek for. Their bassist, who's one of the original members, he only sings in some invented language, Maronia or something he made up. So you got that. Then you have a Finnish singer, and then another singer who sings in English only. So that sometimes they're all singing on the same song. So
wow.
That's awesome. Now, Max Mars, Alexander, he says, give it a listen, Alexander, above link. But I can't find the link that he posted, but maybe you know what he's talking about. I don't know.
Alexander,
I wrote down the name of the band. Sorry, Abnorm.
I was going to say if maybe because it sounded like you used to listen to some kind of stoner desert rock stuff. Maybe that was before you moved to Germany, but there's a band called Color Haze. I don't know if you've heard of them. Heard any of their stuff?
I heard about them, but I never listened to it. Names of it, I know that because my friends are crazy about that. There's a big label in Brazil that releases pretty much everything that goes out and makes a big fuzz in the US. they bring it to Brazil and release it there.
Okay.
And I guess that Color Haze is one of those bands.
I just wanted to mention my friend Jeff Young is here, and we've done a lot of weird stuff over the years as far as music, and I knew him in college, and so it's good to see Jeff Young here. He's an interesting fella into some weird stuff. Hey, so there's one thing I have to do. My main moderator and my best friend Tim Nolan is not here tonight, but he did send me a package in the mail, and I have no idea what's in it. So I want to open it. I want to open it. I don't know what it is. It's this right here. I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to make it big for a second so I can open this up. Because if I forget to open it, I'll feel really bad. Okay, here we go. So here we go. This is from my friend Tim, who's my main moderator here on this channel, but he's not here tonight. But I got to open this because I'm dying to know what's in it. Okay. Because I got this a few days ago. Oh. It's
Wisp.
It's Quip cereal. Now, Alexander, I don't know if you know what this is, but this is really sugary, awful cereal.
No, I don't.
This probably came out in the 60s or maybe the 70s or 80s. I don't know, but they make it in very small quantities these days, and you can only find it at certain stores in America. So Tim knows.
Yep, I ate a lot of that when I was a kid. So
yeah, I mean,
I left the U.S. when I was 6 years old, so I don't remember much.
It's so sugary.
Yeah. I love it. Fruit Loops, though.
Oh man, all that stuff is so good, but it's so bad for you. So now I'm gonna have to eat this, and then I'm gonna have to walk to the record store a few times more to lose the weight that I'm gonna gain by eating this. But
there's a very funny story regarding me and cereal. When I moved to Brazil, my mom. I was born in the U.S. I lived with my mom and my father there, and my father moved to Brazil. He was born in Brazil, and my mom suffered an accident and they sent me to Brazil. But I was living with my aunt by the time, and nobody in my family would speak English. So every morning they would serve me like some bread with butter and coffee, and I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't like that. I want cereal. And nobody would ever understand what I was talking about. And my aunt tells a story that after 1 week where she was desperate, trying to understand what I wanted, she brought me to the supermarket and left me there. And I started running. And all of a sudden, I hugged a box of Fruit Loops. I was like, cereal! I need cereal for my breakfast.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So just imagine a kid of 6 years old not being able to speak the language there.
Oh, my God. So you need to make that a song with your band.
Yeah.
A metal song about hugging a box of Fruit Loops.
Yeah. It's a funny story, though. Every time I tell that, everybody's laughing about it because I still love Fruit Loops nowadays.
Of course you do, because it's a drug and it's addicting.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
but the Fruit Loops here is not as sweet. It's
really
sort of sad. Yeah, well, Europeans are very concerned about their health. I guess that in the U.S. and in Brazil, it's pure sugar.
Yeah, we don't care about our health here.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send you some real Fruit Loops one day.
I would love it.
And then I'll kill you and I'll feel bad.
It's
you
fine.
Used to all that American sugar. That's funny. Well, since you're the lyric guy of the band, you could sneak in some lyrics about hugging a Fruit Loops box in there, and your friend would probably never even know.
Maybe I would write it in a way that nobody would understand what I'm talking about.
Speak in code. You can speak in code. Maybe have it backward masking.
Maybe I can use like the magma alphabet.
Or the Ozzy Osbourne satanic.
Perfect.
You could, it could only be, part of the design graphically. It doesn't even have to be in the song. Just put witchcraft letters describing your whole story about hugging the box of Fruit Loops, and then some fan down the line will decipher it, and there'll be this whole controversy. Like, what are these guys talking about? Fruit Loops.
Yeah, that would be great.
Is there even a way to write the word Fruit Loops in witchcraft? I don't know.
You never know.
Maybe it's against the rules. Okay, so my friend Jeff Young says, just recently heard some Knife World. Does anybody know what Knife World is?
Never
no
heard
idea.
about them.
No.
Damn, Jeff Young, you're on top of it. We don't know what you're talking about. Man, the chat is really blowing up. People are talking about me.
I'm gonna pay attention on the chat more.
I'm trying.
I can't see it, so I'm at the will of you pulling things up.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm trying. It said Alexander. Zeb has another recommendation for you, Alexander.
Right.
Check out De Futura. You won't be let down.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's a huge Magma fan. He's got like a full sleeve tattoo with some Magma artwork.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
he lives in Belgium right now. He will never watch it, but Thiago, if you're watching it, your tattoo is mentioned here.
That's great. Yeah, we're all interested in hearing that band now. I remember I went to a yard sale once years ago, and this is when I first started really kind of going out and trying to buy things to resell. And this one guy advertised a record sale, a record yard sale, and he had a few records out in the yard and nothing really I was interested in. And we started talking about music, and he's like, well, I'm really into prog, and I have a whole basement full of records, and I'm thinking about maybe selling some. So anyway, long story short, he takes me down to the basement. He shows me all his prog stuff, and he has all these Magma records that were worth tons of money. So that's the first time I ever heard of Magma, was this guy in his basement. And I was down there for like 2 hours just looking at everything and just like mesmerized by his collection.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you made it.
Sorry, keep on.
You go.
No, you go.
Fight it out.
I was just saying, I'm surprised that you made it out there alive. I would have expected that he would have like kept you locked in his prog dungeon.
Well, I think I overstayed my welcome, actually. I was just so intrigued with his whole collection, but he was trying to run a yard sale outside. So his wife was running the yard sale. Me and him were in his basement talking about records for an hour or two. Yeah, so, but it was fun. I learned a lot that day about, Magma and other bands that I can't remember right now. But, hey, Peter Graves is driving, and he says, I'm still driving, but I want to say, what is wrong with you guys? Nina Hagen. Is Nina Hagen rock?
No.
No.
Well, she's German, though.
What about Klaus Nomi?
Not Cat Rock.
Anybody know Klaus Nomi? Do you know?
I know some of his stuff, yeah.
I'm huge into Klaus Nomi. I love that guy. Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo was going to release a record with Klaus Nomi before he passed away. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that would have been cool. So somebody says, Zeb mentioned Knife World, which is one of from the Cardiacs.
Oh.
Wow. I love the Cardiacs. Have you heard the Cardiacs, Alexander?
No, never heard about it.
Well, how would you describe them, Sophia?
Well, I don't know. I only know like a handful of their songs.
But they're really fast and furious and crazy. They're like frantic new wave punk stuff, right?
All right, I'm writing down all these names. I'm gonna check it out.
A punk circus with lots of songs where there's all different parts and
it's
stuff.
It's really out there and energetic. And I've never actually seen a physical release by that band. I've never seen a Cardiacs record or CD or tape, but I've always wanted one. And I know they're out there. You can find them, but I tend to like to find things in the wild. So I've never come across any Cardiac stuff, but everything I've heard of theirs I love.
All right, I'm writing down all the recommendations. Tomorrow
good.
It's going to be a busy day in this house.
That's great. That's great. Zeb says, by the way, Magma is the ultimate room clearing band. No. I think Anal Cunt might be the ultimate room clearing band.
Yeah, that I agree with.
Or maybe any band that I've been in. But yeah, we can clear a room. Sometimes we were in bands designed to clear rooms. Like there was a band I was in called Crapper Keeper, and that was designed to make people not like us, but some people actually liked it, which we were surprised about. Hey, Tim Nolan is here finally. My moderator, Tim Nolan. Tim Nolan, thank you for the cereal, my friend. We opened it a few minutes ago. Okay, here, Ian Shannon has a good description. Cardiacs is like Polysix, but more rockish.
Oh, all right.
I think that is.
I mean, I understand that.
As far as the energy goes, as far as the energy,
they're more zany than Polysix, though.
Yeah. But as far as energy goes, I can see that comparison.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, there's so many people.
Eastwater say that he watched Gary Moore here in Germany. Man, I wish.
Oh, I've never seen that guy. I don't even know if I own any Gary Moore.
I'm a big fan of Thin Lizzy, and he played in the best phase of Thin Lizzy. I share birthday with Gary Moore, April 4th.
Oh, I didn't know Gary Moore was in Thin Lizzy. Okay, so I'm dumb
Yeah,
about
he played in the Live and Dangerous album. I guess he's the one, the solo guitar player.
I've liked everything I've ever heard by Thin Lizzy, and Phil Lynott did a solo record once.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I think I have it on cassette or something. Anyway, he does one song on that record that I swear is so much like Devo. It's like, and there's an old picture of Phil Lynott wearing a Devo suit.
Oh wow.
That was featured on the cover of NME or some UK magazine back in the day. But I heard from, friends of friends that he was a Devo fan, and I swear his solo record has some weird stuff on it. I don't remember what it's called, but Phil Lynott's. But I like all Thin Lizzy I've ever heard. I've been trying to beef up my Thin Lizzy collection because I don't have a whole lot of vinyl of them. But every CD I find used, I buy of Thin Lizzy for sure.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see here.
Zeb's talking about there's a British band called Guapo. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but they're kind of that Zool, proggy kind of stuff. Pretty brutal. Some of their earlier stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. One of their members, a couple of the members left. I think it's just like the original drummer is the only original member left in the band of Guapo now. They're still kind of active, but one of the guys is off doing another kind of a poppy, kind of a electro pop, folky, British, very British sounding band called Grumbling Fur, who I really like.
Grumbling Fur?
Yeah, usually not into stuff that has vocal harmonies and it's a little bit noisy too, but they're really nice. But I don't know the whole story behind why who was in Guapo and why they left. So, but that's a cool band to check out. So,
I really envy your Abnorm, your ability to keep digging and finding new bands all the time. Because every time you come on stream here, you're hipping me to stuff that I've never ever heard. That's fairly recent stuff. It's not like you're digging up old, weird bands. This is all pretty much current stuff that you're showing us.
More recent, yeah. So
I appreciate that because I just don't have that fire or that drive in me to discover new things that much. So,
I accumulate so much stuff though. Sometimes I hardly ever get to listening to it. So, but I do a lot of digital purchases too, downloads.
Right. I never do that. Yeah, I never do that. In fact, there's a guy that's putting out. Well, he put out a record, but it's hard to get right now. Oliver Tree. He's this pop. I call it deviant pop, but he's very popular in some circles right now. I've been trying to find Oliver Tree physical media for a long time, and it's pissing me off. I've refused to download the record because I just don't do that. I don't download music. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, God, I need it in physical format to be able to hear it. Every now and then I'll go to YouTube and watch his videos if I want to hear his song, but damn, I need that physical media. I don't know why.
I have a thing where I really do enjoy physical media, but at the same time, I do have this drive within me to find music and research it, just kind of to always be expanding what I'm listening to and gain more consciousness. So the majority of the music that I'm listening to is like catching up on music that I'm interested in from the past.
Yeah.
And using the internet to do that, which I guess is a nice side of the digital era.
Totally makes sense. And I just don't know why I have this, I think it's because, so when I was really rabid about discovering new music was when I was a teenager and I was going through this thing where I was coming out of heavy metal and getting more into punk rock. And to discover new punk rock bands, you really had to scour all the fanzines that you could find, like Maximum Rock and Roll, Flipside, and like homegrown punk rock fanzines. That's where you would like go through every page and look for logos that appealed to you or artwork or whatever. And then you would have to search out those bands or either go see them at a club or find their 7-inch or their, it was just such a cool thing to have to physically look through stuff to find out, it's just that the thing with typing things into the internet, it just seems so easy to me that it's like it's cheating. I don't know. I just get this weird feeling like, no, that's not how I should do it. I should discover it in some physical way. I don't know why I have this physical thing.
Well, with me, I see how I kind of discover music is in a way not unlike what you are seeing, what you were doing. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Like just looking for bands that people describe it in a way that appeals to you, or it has some cool album art, and that's kind of how I decide what album am I going to download today.
That's good.
And I do use the internet for most of my music listenings, but I am not into the whole like you can stream this music for as much as you want, but your artist is making less than a penny for when you play it. I think that's such a corrupt system. It really needs reform to actually like pay the artist for the work that they are doing.
Yeah, it's that. It's definitely a lot of that into it, but I think it's just the era I grew up in. You know, I feel comfortable discovering music in one certain way, and I just, you know, computers to me, it's such a cold way of discovering music, but that's how I discovered Oliver Tree, which I love. So every now and then I'll discover something by accident, but I will not dig into the computer to discover new music typically.
I use Bandcamp and I buy most everything on Bandcamp after I, listen to it. So, because it's usually pretty affordable on there. Money's going right to the artist or the label. So that's the way I like it.
Especially if you do that on those Bandcamp free Fridays. Those are great. Those are great. So, Sophia, I just want to ask you really quick. You got the Tizzy tape in the mail. It was
I haven't gotten the chance to listen to it yet.
Oh, great. Okay, well, please do. Let me know what you think, and I will tell the girls what you think, because I'm going to go down to their Per Cup Cafe coffee place, and I'm going to tell them what my friend Sophia thought of it. So
cool.
And I'm sure that I'm going to try. This is a secret. But I'm going to try to have Tizzy on the stream at some point to interview them a little bit. So
that'd be nice.
I'll wait till you hear the tape, Sophie.
Okay. Yeah. I'll definitely get to listening to it this weekend.
Yeah. Tizzy is my favorite band right now, especially my favorite band from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm so into them, and I wish they had more than that. I think it's a 5 or 6 song demo tape, but every song on there is damn great, in my opinion. Tim Nolan says, my Tizzy tape has not shown up yet. Well, Tim Nolan, that might be because you're living wrong. You're either going to the wrong church or you're doing something wrong, my friend. Because Sophia got hers.
Yeah.
And she lives just about as far away from Tizzy as you do. So I don't know what happened. Wait, now Phil Lynott was in Skid Row?
That's new to me.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
There's other Skid Row people are talking about too, which I'm not familiar with. So
I don't know. Yeah, all I know about Skid Row is that guy Sebastian Bach was in it. That's all I know.
But I guess that there are two different bands named Skid Row.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's about all I can tell you. It's about either one of them. So
yeah.
I know nothing.
Oh, Carlin says he also bought a Tizzy tape. That's great. Yeah, I mean, when I went to visit them at their Per Cup Cafe cat place, they said they sold out pretty quick for the first 100. So that's great. That is great. I'm glad that they're doing okay, because they were kind of bummed out that they had planned to actually do their first little, round of shows. They planned to sell T-shirts and tapes and, merch like all the other bands that they saw and loved, and they got shut down because of the pandemic. So I like trying to help them sell their merch. That's good stuff. So yeah, let me just do this really quick before it gets too late. I'm going to put the video panel invite in the chat one more time, just in case anybody else wants to get up here and talk to us before we shut it down.
Yeah, I might have to go off soon because my phone's battery is getting a bit low.
And plus, you're really old and need to get your sleep. Oh wait, that's me.
I have the day off from school tomorrow, so I get to sleep in.
Oh, great. And then you're going to be drinking all day and smoking weed and being a rebel.
No, because I have to take a test on Saturday.
What's the test?
My SAT.
Oh, I hated those. God,
I've taken 2 of the PSATs, so I'm prepared, I guess.
I can't remember I can't remember if I did really well on those or really poorly, but I know I hated them, and I just couldn't stand. I just hated school in general. I didn't like tests. I didn't like learning things that didn't interest me at all. So I just thought it was a waste of my damn time. And then when I got home, I finally did what I wanted to do. But when I was at school, I was just like, ugh, let me get out of here.
To me, for some reason, I've always kind of enjoyed taking tests. Like, it was always kind of fun for me.
Oh, weird.
I don't know why. It was just like, oh, this challenging thing, you know?
Well, I mean, if Ozzy Osbourne was giving me a test on witchcraft reading, I could do that.
I guess so, yeah.
Has to be something I'm interested in, really. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. Zeb has a request here. Zeb says, get the guests to mention metal bands they hate. All right, I'll start. Winger. Winger. Europe.
I just saw your heavy metal cassette video. Is that today? Whenever
that was a couple days ago. Yeah, whatever.
The Great Cat. Don't like that stuff.
You hate the Great Cat?
I've only seen bits of her, but man,
I love it.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but I can't. And I like some stuff that's ridiculous, but I don't like that.
Oh man, she's great. And I know her sister. Her sister, the Great Cat's sister, works in the PR industry. She worked in the software industry for many years. And I met her because I was in the software industry, and we met at marketing things or software places. So anyway, I got to talking to her about music one day. She told me her sister's the Great Cat, and we started talking. And it seems like the Great Cat, for those of you who know, the Great Cat is this artist that was out in the 80s, a classically trained musician, a beautiful girl, long blonde hair, and she always very scantily clothed, but she was her whole shtick was, I'm the Great Cat. I rule. Everybody else sucks. You worship me. Everything I do is perfect. And then she played some really amazing classical,
crazy talent.
Plays violin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It really
and she plays very fast, like very virtuoso. Yeah.
Like really, really ripping fast. So it's not something I listen to all the time, but I really appreciate her whole kind of aesthetic and her shtick and she keeps doing it. I'm on the Cat mailing list. I've been on the Cat mailing list for 20 years. And I swear almost every week I'll get something in the mail from her saying a new album or a new t-shirt or a new photo for sale, or she's constantly doing it. And Sophia, you will like this. She's got this old HTML website. If you think Devo-Obsesso, if you think the sites I did were really basic HTML, you should see her site. And it's still the same. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
She's just so passionate about what she does. She's so dedicated that I love her for that. So the music, might not be a cup of tea.
Well, you mentioned AC earlier. I won't mention you know what that means. So I don't care for them, but I like that they're doing that. I love that somebody's doing something that kind of
brutal
and dumb, and just somebody's creating that. I like that. So I can appreciate some of that stuff, but
AC was never one of those bands that I put on to listen to and sing along with or anything. It was just one of those things you put on to make people go, ooh, make people leave the party,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now here's a question.
All right.
Is corn metal? Oh, okay. That's one of those bands. That's one of the bands I hate.
Yeah, that's one of the bands I hate as well. Yeah.
And
I don't know them well enough to know if I hate them.
It was like one of those brocore. It was like kind of brocore rap metal. What do you call it? New metal? New metal?
New metal is the big term.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't metal at all.
No, not at all. But that's the thing, like going back to the question, a band of metal that you hate, I would say that I hate Pantera, not because of how Pantera sounds, but because of all the bands that went after them making very horrible music, and Korn is one of them.
Yeah, I was
sorry if I'm offending someone here, but I couldn't get that.
I was never into Pantera. I thought they were kind of, I didn't ever hear I guess they had kind of a hair metal beginning.
I like those records. Until Power Metal, I think that Pantera is a good band. It sounds like Kiss and Judas Priest. It's good.
Oh, I would have loved to hear it, but I've only heard their like, I'm going to punch you, tough guy records.
Yeah, no, this.
I never liked that.
I only really listened to their
Beer
first
drinkers
couple.
band.
What's that?
I only listened to their first couple.
Oh, look, Sophia went all black metal on us.
Hair metal ones, and then I
Okay,
didn't really
I
follow
was
Pantera
trying
after
to
that, so
look
they
at
kind of
something
lost.
on my phone and it glitched
Yeah,
out.
you were trying to be the blackest black metal here on screen. I know.
Yes.
You were trying to
Should
be
come
more
back from corpse paint next time.
That's right.
Black metal.
But yeah, Sophia, by the time you're 32, I'm going to get you into some brutal metal stuff.
I don't know.
Give me a decade or two to work on it, but I'm going to.
Oh my God.
Yep. Don't worry. Don't worry. Musical tastes change as you grow up. And you're going to realize that you're a metal chick at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're going to go see Voivod's reunion tour in 2025 or 2027 or something. And
I'd go along with my dad to see Voivod.
Yes,
It'd be a fun show.
Yeah, well, most metal shows are fun, believe me.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. When I was a kid, speaking of metal shows, when I was a teenager, I was going to all these big shows like Ozzy Osbourne and AC/DC and Twisted Sister and Van Halen and all these great shows. And I was getting free passes because I knew these guys at this radio station that kind of adopted me as their friend. And so I remember getting into these shows, and it was such a wild scene because there was no reserved seating. There was no seats. You just sat wherever you wanted to. People were all messed up on drugs and alcohol. They were puking everywhere. They were passing out. They were, you'd see bodies being drug out from people that had overdosed or whatever. And it was such a freaky scene. There was like people setting fires in the seats. There were fireworks going off. You get burned with cigarettes if you got too close to somebody. And being a kid in that situation was really wildly awesome for me. It was like kind of threatening, but like it was just so cool. I'm glad I got to experience concerts as wild and as dangerous as that.
Yeah, in high school I went to Judas Priest and Megadeth in a big kind of hockey arena type show, big arena show. Mm-hmm. I was just kind of, I like Judas Priest, but I don't think I've ever owned any of their stuff. And I was a little bit into Megadeth at the time. I was just kind of went with a friend. And, but I remember between acts, we were out walking around and somebody brought their little brother with them who was probably 10 or 12. And he was like just passed out on the floor, just breathing real heavy. And these three guys are standing over him, looking at him. They didn't know what to do. I don't know what the hell they gave him, but he was just some people's brother was messed up. So
he was probably feeling really good. Well, it's like, I always tell this story when people ask me about heroin. It's like, all you have to do is see somebody on heroin and then you'll never want to do it.
Makes sense.
Or it could have the opposite effect. Like, if you see somebody on heroin, they usually look like they're going to die, or they probably vomited all over themselves, or they've pissed themselves or something. They've lost control in some way. But at the same time, you got to think that if somebody's in that state and they've chosen to be that way, it must feel really good. Because, I would never choose to fall asleep and vomit on myself if it didn't feel really good. But I've never been attempted to try it because the people I saw on it were like, oh, God, I don't want to look like that.
No.
Yeah, that'll keep you away from it. But as far as dangerous rock shows, I was into that stuff. And this is the type of thing where, when I was a kid, we always had press gate passes to go see these shows, which meant you got in 10 or 15 minutes earlier before the crowd. You got in with all the press and photographers. So we would run right down to the front of these stages, and they had the big barricades at the front. So we'd grab onto the barricade. We'd be right in the front row. And then as people crushed in there, you would get so crammed in with people that your feet would go off the floor, and you were just kind of being held up by the people next to you, right? Like you were just moving with the crowd. Your feet were off the floor, and it was totally, you were not in control anymore. It was amazing. It was amazing.
In Brazil, every concert is like that until nowadays.
Really?
I guess, yeah. In Argentina as well. I guess that's something about Latin countries in general. People go nuts when a band plays there. And everybody wants to be right in the stage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, experience it when I was 13 or 14 or 12 or whatever I was it was mind blowing because I didn't know if I was going to survive, but I didn't care because I was in the front row for Ozzy or whatever. And I was just like, take me now. I don't care. This is the way I want to go. I've lived a full life. I'm 14. It's like, didn't matter.
Wait, I'm laughing so much because Tracy posted here that he used to photograph Gigi Allen before he died and took a son of 12 years old to a Gigi Allen concert.
Wow.
Oh my God.
You are a great parent, Tracy.
Yeah.
I saw Gigi as well, and it was quite an experience. My band was actually supposed to open for him, but we had to cancel at the last minute because our drummer had to go out of town or whatever it was. I'm really glad we didn't open for him because, God, he threw so much poop, and we were running away from him in the club and throwing things at him to stay away from us. It was amazing. It was like,
yeah, of course.
Poor guy.
Rock and roll, baby.
He was, some people would say he's an asshole. Some people say he's a performance artist, whatever.
He's one of a kind.
One of a kind. And certainly probably was fairly not nice to some people. Maybe he beat some people up for no reason, which is horrible. I don't agree with that, but he's such a weird entity in that whole rock and roll story. Like he's such a weird guy, one of a kind.
Poor guy.
Oh my God. Chick saw Metallica at CBGB's.
Oh, wow.
Holy balls. Is that when they were an acoustic folk band? In CBGB's, what would that be like? Holy crap.
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my God. That story trumps every story we've told here. Metallica at CBGB's. Come on. That's not even real. That can't be real. Jeez. All right. So, hey, we've been doing this exactly 2 hours. Maybe we should let Sophia get her beauty sleep so she can do really well on her SAT test.
SAT?
Yep.
And my phone is at like 4%. So
I
wouldn't be on for there.
I'm so happy that you showed up, Sophia, and you gave us your time. Even though we're talking mostly about heavy metal, you showed up. And
sorry.
It's okay, I guess.
It's building her future as a heavy metal fan, believe me.
Oh my God.
Then we made something beautiful this night.
That's right. You're gonna have a full beard, Sophia. Sophia's gonna grow a full beard. She's gonna have tattoos of devils and stuff.
No way.
It's gonna happen.
Nah.
All right. Well, that's good. We'll love you anyway, Sophia. It doesn't matter. All right. So I guess we'll shut this down because tomorrow's another day.
Because of reasons.
2 hours is about the max to do these things unless something really fantastic.
3 a.m. here in Germany.
Oh my goodness, I forgot. Oh my goodness.
I'm a night owl. I'm not going to sleep before.
Well, thank you, Alexander, for showing up.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yeah. It was a pleasure. Thanks, Sophia. Thanks, Abnorm.
Yeah,
look, Alexander, thank you for joining my contest again.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right, brother. We'll see you around.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so
thanks for people on chat as well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see you back here again. All right, one by one, I'm going to remove you from the stream. See you later, Alexander. Okay, so he was the first to come. All right, so Sophia, later. We love you.
Bye.
All right, and Abnorm, pants on and everything.
Yep.
We love talking to you. Thanks for showing me all that cool music. And I got to look into that one band, Bong. I got to look into them.
Okay.
All right, cool. We'll see you next time, brother. All right, now everybody, Bear Grease. I just saw you for the first time. Thank you for being here. Sorry you're showing up at kind of the end of this thing, but that's the way it goes. So my cats are running around right now looking at me like they want food. I'm going to go do that. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, it all helps the algorithms here on YouTube stay happy. And thank you guys, everybody, who participated tonight. I appreciate it. We will see you next time. May the rock and roll gods bless you as they have blessed me. And I'm going to leave you with a little bit of electronic noise like I like to do. And here we go. Oh, shit. Oh. Okay, bye.